Thanks for joining us, everyone. I am Nifemi Okuntoye. President Bola Tinubu has announced plans to reshuffle his cabinet soon. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who made this known earlier today, says although there is no specific date yet, the cabinet reshuffle will be evidence-based. Mr. Onanuga spoke to newsmen alongside the senior special assistant to the president on digital and new media, Ogra. He mentioned that President Tinubu has instructed his ministers to actively promote the accomplishments of his administration.
The president has expressed his desire to reshuffle his cabinet, and he will do it. I don't know whether he wants to do it before October 1, but he will surely do it. So that's what I will say.
Public affairs analyst Olufemi Lawson joins me on the news at 10 for more perspectives on these developments. Some say it's a long time coming, Mr. Lawson. What do you make of this desire, and what components, what should formulate the components of this reshuffling?
Thank you for having me. I think it is one of the very many expectations of Nigerians from the administration of President Bola Tinubu, considering the numerous challenges that this administration has encountered since coming on board in May 29, 2023. The reality is that, at the constitution of the current cabinet, Mr. President must have considered a lot of factors, including, the interests of his political party, interests of those who worked to ensure its emergence, among other factors. 1 year after, I think Mr. President must come to the realization that the business of state, which supersedes every other interest, must be put at the fore. And I think that must be behind the speculated, cabinet reshuffle, which I think the president must see as a necessity in the interest of moving the nation forward, particularly at this point in time.
Time would tell if there would be, public inclusion, and if the public would have a say as to the performance of these appointees of Mr. President. But in your opinion, how would you say they have fared in the past 1 year?
Over the past 1 year, there's no doubt that some persons, brought on board by Mr. President have performed creditably well. Without sounding immodest, I cannot but, if you permit me, mention a very few among those brought on board by Mr. President who have demonstrated their capacity to support President Bola Tinubu in the actualization of the renewed hope agenda. I want to talk about the Minister of Interior. In this country, you and I know that some couple of years ago, acquiring an international passport as a Nigerian was, like a mystery. When they brought on board Dr. Honorable Jojo as the Minister of Interior, it revolutionized the sector. Under the same precedent, we have had, a lot of, landmark intervention in the aviation sector under coincidentally, a lawyer who a lot of people would have expected less from, Mr. Festus Keyamo SAN. Under the same administration, we have had, few other ministers, and appointees. For instance, if you look at the drive of the Federal Inland Revenue Service under Mr. Zach Adedeji, that's been something that's also unprecedented. But the truth is that majority of those appointed by the president who have been in charge of some of the ministries that are critical to the actualization of the agenda of Mr. President have not, performed at such level that is impressive, to us as Nigerians, to the extent that it has affected, and it has negatively impacted on the expectation of Nigerians from the president. So I think if this is going to be real, if the proposed reshuffle, this speculated cabinet reshuffle will be actualized, it must be holistic to the extent that I don't think not more than 20% of persons making up the present cabinet of Mr. President, should remain in their current positions.
Olufemi Lawson, public affairs analyst, thank you for your thoughts.
My pleasure.